Hi, it's Ra, Rishi Kavi Raghudas from Star Presence Astrology, here to give the astrological forecast for Thursday, July 31st, 2025. Well, it's a bit of a mixed bag energetically today. It's kind of sliding all over the place, energetically speaking. The sun today is at 8, moving to 9 degrees of grand and glorious fire sign Leo. Let's see, do I have gold on my shirt for Leo? Yes, I do. There's King Tut himself. Everywhere the glint of gold, as Howard Carter said in discovering his tomb. The moon begins the day in the latter degrees of love, beauty, and social justice-oriented air sign Libra. And the only aspect that it makes in late Libra is a direct opposition to Chiron, called the wounded healer. 27 degrees of Libra to Chiron at 27 degrees of Aries. Remember that Chiron has just gone retrograde. So the moon opposite a Chiron station. It's a tricky energy first thing in the morning, so don't get upset with people if they get your goat. It's just one of those times. Let's see, 4:41 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time is when it's exact. 7:41 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 12:41 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Moon goes void, of course, after that, and then moves into the deep, dark water sign of Scorpio at 10:25 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. 1:25 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 6:25 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Moon in Scorpio, of course, is famous for its emotional intensity, but the first couple of aspects it makes are very nice indeed. Moon makes a lovely trine, a nice flowing angle to Venus, a planet of love and affection, which has just moved to 0 degrees of the ultra-sensitive water sign of Cancer. 11:12 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 2:12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 7:12 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Very nice, soft, and loving. The moon then makes an awkward angle and inconjunct. In fact, it makes 3 inconjuncts in a row, the first one of which is to Uranus, a planet of sudden change, sometimes chaos, freedom from the known, as I like to say, sitting at 0 degrees of Gemini. That means it's kind of an anything can happen sort of a period, then and for the next few hours. 12:16 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time is when that moon makes its awkward angle to Uranus. 3:16 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 8:16 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Moon makes another inconjunction from 1 degree of Scorpio to Saturn, the planet of discipline and structure. Not great for responsibilities, but you got to do what you got to do under this kind of energy. 1:44 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 4:44 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and 9:44 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time is when it's exact. Then the moon makes yet another inconjunct, this one to Neptune, the planet of dreams and visions. This is kind of a fog out kind of energy, so you want to be really clear in terms of what needs to happen right at that time. 2 degrees of Scorpio to Neptune at 2 degrees of Aries. 2:26 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time is when that's exact. 5:26 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 10:26 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And as if all of that weren't enough, then the moon in late 2 degrees of Scorpio makes a direct 90-degree square, hard angle to Pluto, the Lord of Power, sitting at 2 degrees of Aquarius. And remember, all 3 of these planets are retrograde. So moon square Pluto, not fun. Easy does. You get into power issues with people or something really nasty. 3:20 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time is when that's exact. 6:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 11:20 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. And as if all of that weren't enough, the sun at 9 degrees of Leo in the latter part of the afternoon into the evening. Mercury retrograde backs into the sun. So Mercury under the beams, as they say, easily misunderstood. Be careful driving. It's just one of those times where a fog could come before us and something nasty could happen if we're not consciously aware of what we're saying or doing. 4:41 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 7:41 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 12:41 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Easy does it today, please. As I said, the energy is kind of sliding all over the place. I'm Ra, Rishi Kavi Raghudas from Star Presence Astrology. Now, if you would like to have a personal reading with me, you can book it on my website, starpresence.net. Remember, from the very moment that you're born, you've got star presence. Enjoy this day. Be careful, be conscious today, no matter what.